More than just old rocks, right? Have you ever wondered what lies beneath your feet? Or what secrets are hidden deep in the jungle? I know I have. My job is to explore the world's greatest mysteries. And honestly, some of the biggest mysteries are about entire worlds that have disappeared. We call them lost civilizations. But what is a civilization, really? It's not just a pile of old rocks or a few broken pots. A civilization is a group of people who decided to build something together. They created a community with rules, leaders, and big ideas. They built cities with streets and temples. They developed art, writing, and science. A civilization is a team of people working to make their mark on the world, leaving a legacy for the future. Think of it like a massive, complex city. You have different people doing different jobs. Some are farmers, growing food for everyone. Others are builders, creating incredible structures that can stand for thousands of years. You have artists, priests, and soldiers. A true civilization has a system. It has a government to keep order, and a shared culture that brings everyone together. It's about how people live, work, and dream as one. When we look for a lost civilization, we are searching for the blueprint of a society. We are looking for the story of how they organized themselves, what they believed in, and ultimately, what happened to them. The amazing thing is that civilizations can be incredibly advanced. Look at the ancient Egyptians. They built the pyramids with stunning precision, or the Maya in Central America, who created complex calendars and understood astronomy better than many cultures that came later. These weren't simple societies. They were hubs of innovation and knowledge. They had their own technologies, their own medicines, and their own unique ways of seeing the universe. So when we hear stories about a civilization that vanished, we aren't just talking about a small village. We are talking about the potential loss of a whole world of wisdom and achievement. That's what makes this so exciting. Every time we uncover a new piece of an old puzzle, we learn more about what humans are capable of. We find evidence of incredible engineering, beautiful art, and complex social structures. These people who lived thousands of years ago were just as smart and creative as we are today. They just had different tools and different challenges. Finding a lost civilization is like finding a hidden chapter in the story of humanity. It's a reminder that the world is full of secrets, just waiting for someone with a map, a shovel, and a healthy dose of curiosity to come along and find them. All right, let's talk about the big ones. The legends that keep explorers like me up at night. First up is the most famous lost city of all, Atlantis. The story comes from the ancient Greek philosopher Plato. He wrote about an incredible island nation located beyond the Pillars of Hercules, which we think is the Strait of Gibraltar. Atlantis was described as a utopia. It was a technological marvel, with brilliant engineers, immense wealth, and a powerful navy. Its people were said to be noble and wise. They built magnificent temples and canals in concentric circles of land and water. The story is epic. But as the legend goes, the people of Atlantis became greedy and corrupt. They waged war against Athens and other nations. Angered by their arrogance, the gods sent a terrible punishment. In a single day and night of misfortune, the island of Atlantis was swallowed by the sea, vanishing forever beneath the waves. For centuries, people have searched for it. Was it in the Mediterranean, the Atlantic Ocean, the Caribbean? No one knows for sure. Was it just a story Plato made up to teach a lesson about pride? Or was it a real place, a real civilization, now lost to history? The mystery is what makes it so irresistible. Then there's the legend of El Dorado, the lost city of gold. This one comes from South America. The story began with a ritual performed by the Muisca people in what is now Colombia. Their new king would cover himself in gold dust and dive into a sacred lake, Lake Guatavita, as an offering to the gods. Other treasures of gold and emeralds were also thrown into the water. When the Spanish conquistadors heard this tale, their imaginations ran wild. The story of a golden man evolved into the legend of a golden city, a place of unimaginable wealth hidden deep within the Amazon rainforest. For hundreds of years, explorers have ventured into the dense, dangerous jungle searching for El Dorado. They faced disease, hostile tribes, and a wilderness that seemed determined to keep its secrets. Many lost their lives in the quest. While the Golden City itself has never been found, the legend wasn't entirely a fantasy. Archaeologists have found golden artifacts in and around Lake Guatavita, proving that the Muisca ritual was real. The legend of El Dorado is a powerful example of how a small grain of truth can grow into one of the most enduring mysteries in the world, driving people to risk everything for a dream. So why do we do it? Why do we spend our lives chasing stories that might just be myths? For me, it's about the fundamental human desire to know. We are a curious species. We want to solve puzzles and fill in the blank spaces on the map. These stories of lost worlds represent the ultimate unknown. They are questions that have been hanging in the air for centuries, and there's a part of us that just can't let them go. The idea that a brilliant society like Atlantis could exist and then disappear is both terrifying and fascinating. It reminds us that nothing is permanent, not even the greatest civilizations. There's also the promise of discovery. Imagine being the person to find definitive proof of Atlantis, or to uncover the ruins of a city hidden in the Amazon for 1,000 years. It would change history. It would rewrite the books. Every explorer dreams of that moment. It's the thrill of the chase, the adrenaline rush of following ancient clues and knowing you might be on the verge of something huge. This pursuit connects us directly to the past. When you hold an artifact that hasn't been touched by human hands in centuries, you feel a link to the people who made it. It's a powerful, humbling experience. These stories also inspire us to push our own limits. The search for lost civilizations has often been at the forefront of exploration and technology. To find these places, we have to go to the most remote corners of the planet. We have to dive to the bottom of the ocean, climb the highest mountains, and cut our way through the thickest jungles. This quest forces us to innovate. We develop new tools, like satellite imaging that can see through forest canopies, or sonar that can map the seafloor in incredible detail. The hunt for the past is constantly pushing us toward the future. Ultimately, I think we are fascinated by these stories because they reflect something about ourselves. We see our own ambitions in the grandeur of Atlantis and our own desires in the golden streets of El Dorado. These legends are more than just adventure tales. They are mirrors. They show us our potential for greatness and our capacity for downfall. They remind us that we are part of a long, epic story that is still being written. And who doesn't want to find out how the next chapter ends? That's what keeps us searching, keeps us digging, and keeps us dreaming. So how do we actually search for something that might not even exist? We start with the stories themselves. Ancient texts, like Plato's writings on Atlantis, are our first maps. We analyze every detail. We look for geographical clues, descriptions of the landscape, and any mention of neighboring peoples or places we can identify. Legends like El Dorado are treated the same way. We trace the story back to its source, separating the facts from the fiction. The Muisca ritual was real, so we focus our search in their historical territory. These old stories are the treasure maps that point us in the right direction. The next step is to look for physical evidence on the ground. This is where old-school archaeology comes in. We look for anomalies in the landscape hills that are too perfectly shaped, strange patterns of rocks or vegetation that looks out of place. Sometimes, local people have stories or knowledge that has been passed down for generations pointing to forgotten ruins in their area. We also look for artifacts. A single, out-of-place piece of pottery or a strange tool can be the first clue that a forgotten society once lived there. It's slow, patient work, but one small find can break a case wide open. But today, we have an incredible advantage: technology. We use satellite imagery to scan vast, inaccessible areas from space. We can spot the outlines of ancient walls or agricultural fields that are invisible from the ground. One of the most game-changing tools is called LiDAR, which stands for Light Detection and Ranging. We fly a plane over a dense jungle, and LiDAR sends down laser pulses that can see through the canopy of trees. It creates a three-dimensional map of the ground beneath, revealing the hidden ruins of entire cities that have been swallowed by the forest. It's like having X-ray vision for archaeology. In the end, solving these mysteries matters because it's about understanding our shared human story. Every civilization we discover adds another piece to the giant puzzle of our past. It teaches us about different ways to live, to build, and to dream. It shows us our successes and our failures. Finding a lost world is not just about finding gold or ancient artifacts. It's about finding knowledge. It's about recovering the lost wisdom of our ancestors. And in a world that often feels divided, these quests remind us that we are all connected by a deep and mysterious history, just waiting to be explored.